Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into American Eagle Outfitters proxy statement. Think of it as the company's annual report card, but instead of grades we're looking at board members, paychecks and auditors. Get ready for some potential corporate drama. This report is basically a cheat sheet for shareholders telling them who to vote for, whether to approve executive pay. And if the company's chosen accounting firm gets a thumbs up. It's like high school elections but with billions of dollars at stake. If you enjoy simplifying complex corporate filings into simple insights, then be sure to subscribe to this channel. I will also leave a link to our Discord in the description for you all to join, where you can get your questions answered. First up, this is a Schedule 14A filing, meaning it's a proxy statement. Think of it like a formal invitation to a shareholder meeting where important decisions get voted on. American Eagle Outfitters needs your vote to make sure everything runs smoothly. To help us navigate, there's a handy table of contents that outlines everything we need to know, from director elections to executive compensation. A letter to the stockholders paints a pretty picture for fiscal year 2024. Revenue hit an all-time high and profits expanded thanks to their powering profitable growth strategy. The plan focuses on amplifying brands, executing with financial discipline, and optimizing operations. Revenue hit $5.3 billion and adjusted operating income increased 19% year over year. Aerie achieved record revenue and #1 ranking in denim maintained with their core customer base. Their #2 leggings brand shows that their expansion into activewear makes a lot of sense. They also managed to return over $280 million more shares for repurchase. Here we have the notice for the annual meeting of stockholders. It will be held on June 25, 2025. Time to mark your calendars, folks. The meeting will be virtual only. There's a zero pay vote set for the auditor selection and giving a thumbs up or thumbs down to executive compensation. That's the say on pay vote. The board recommends you vote for Deborah A. Henrietta and Kerry D. McMillan as Class 3 directors. They also suggest voting to ratify the appointment of Ernst & Young as their independent accounting firm. There is a section about forward-looking statements. It is basically a disclaimer. It warns us that things might not go as planned. It's kind of like when your weather app says sunny with a chance of rain. Basically, don't get too hung up on the numbers. They could change in the future. Now for the main event, the proxy summary. The proxy summary recommends stockholders vote for the director nominees and ratification of the appointment of I. Also, for approval of executive compensation, the say on pay vote. Fiscal year 2024 saw revenue climb to a record $5.3 billion. A 1% increase. That 3-year growth strategy powering profitable growth helped the company to achieve the $5.3 billion revenue, as well as a 19% adjusted operating income increase. Aerie's revenue grew 4% to $1.7 billion, while American Eagle revenue increased 1% to $3.4 billion. Operating margin was 8.0% and adjusted operating margin expanded to 8.3%. The company returned $287 million in cash to stockholders, so it's not just the executives who are getting paid. Time to put on your voting hats. The first proposal is about electing Class 3 directors Deborah A. Henrietta and Kerry D. McMillan. If elected, they'll serve until the 2028 annual meeting. Deborah A. Henrietta has experience in business, leadership, marketing, and international operations. She also knows a thing or two about digital transformation and cybersecurity. Kerry D. McMillan brings leadership experience as a former CEO and has expertise in finance and accounting. He's also got a solid understanding of corporate governance. J.L. Schottenstein, the current CEO, is up for re-election as a Class I director. He's been with the company for ages and has deep knowledge of retail operations. Sujatha Chandrasekaran is nominated as a Class I director with her impressive tech and digital expertise. Janice E. Page is nominated as a Class 2 director. She's a Sears veteran with experience across the apparel and retail industry. David M. Sable is nominated as a Class 2 director. He has more than 30 years of experience in digital leadership and marketing communications. Noel J. Spiegel is nominated as a Class 2 director. He is a Deloitte veteran bringing expertise in public accounting and financial systems. Onto the corporate governance section. It sounds boring, but it is about the rules and structures that keep the company running ethically and efficiently. Topics include board oversight, director independence, and risk management. They also monitor and oversee the company's risk management program, including strategic, competitive, economic, geopolitical, economic, geopolitical, operational, financial, legal, regulatory, cybersecurity, AI, culture, compliance, and reputational risks. There's a process for stockholders and other interested parties to send communications to the board. If you have something to say now, you know how to do it. We learn about building a better world at AEO. It's all about giving back, promoting sustainability, and ethical sourcing. Related party transactions. This section discloses any deals the company has with its executives or their families. It's important for transparency and to make sure everything is fair. In short summary, AEO has agreements with affiliates of Schottenstein for store leases and music program services. Now we find out how much the directors get paid. In short, it's a mix of cash and stock designed to align their interests with the interests of the stockholders. The second proposal is all about the auditors. The board wants you to ratify, approve Ernst & Young as the independent accounting firm for the coming fiscal year. It's generally considered good practice. Fees paid to Ernst & Young included about $2.6 million for the audit itself, about $33,000 in audit-related fees, about $605,000 in other fees. Time for the say on pay vote. This is where shareholders get to voice their opinion on how much the top executives are getting paid. It's non-binding, but it sends a message to the board. Now the compensation discussion and analysis. Prepare yourself, because this is where they dive into the nitty-gritty details of how executive pay is determined. Our leaders drove the results that set a strong foundation in the first year of our long-term corporate strategy of powering profitable growth. EBIT performance resulted in a 110% annual incentive bonus payment for fiscal year 2024. Compensation highlights in bullet form, including a compensation committee of only independent directors, an independent consulting firm, and stock ownership guidelines, among others. The compensation committee approved an incentive-based bonus depending on earnings before interest and taxes. Each exec's target bonus award opportunity reflects their role and responsibilities, as well as market competitiveness. During fiscal year 2024, there were no increases to the target bonus percentages for the NEOs. They use a mix of performance-based and time-based long-term incentive awards to focus management on long-term growth. There's performance-based stock units or PSUs, restricted stock units or RSUs, and stock options. There's also information here about change in control agreements and severance benefits. The ratio of CEO pay to median employee pay is 2011 to 1. This just means the CEO makes 2011 times more than the median employee. Here is where we have the report on executive compensation actually paid. The amount represents the value of performance. In this case, $100 would turn into $125. After saying that the peer groups and certificate compensation were the same, they did quietly mention the peer groups had some small changes that didn't affect the report. So what's the real story here? American Eagle Outfitters is working hard to spin a narrative of growth and profitability, and to some extent they're succeeding, but some things are worth keeping an eye on. First, let's talk about those non-GAAP numbers. Sure, adjusted operating income looks great, but we've got to remember that these are adjusted numbers. The unadjusted numbers don't paint as nice of a picture. While they're busy patting themselves on the back for record revenue and a growing customer base, it looks like some of the strategies aren't working out and have cost the company a decent amount of money. And with that CEO to median employee pay ratio of 2011 to 1. One can question executive pay. Are they really worth 2,000 times more than their average employee? To conclude, American Eagle is a company trying to sell a story of growth in an evolving market. But remember to take it with a grain of salt and always consider the wider economic climate. Alright, that's our breakdown of American Eagle Outfitters' latest proxy statement. What are your thoughts on these numbers? Is it a company you would trust investing in based on this report? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if this analysis was valuable to you, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching and see you next time.